Chad's got a new profile pic.
Crack it.
Whoa.
Chad does have a new profile pic. Sick.
Hey, we're live.
Welcome back to the Football Card Quest, everybody. I'm your host, Andy Case, and here with my main man, Steve, the eBay hitman. We're going to be doing some live eBay hunting of football cards all day, every day. And then we're going to hop into a chihuahua over on UnderdogFantasy.com and build an ultimate roster, maybe take home $25K. Want to look at some season-long pick'ems. We want to answer your questions. If you got any questions about player takes, the card market, Steve, I'm so pumped up right now, man, because I just realized some new products have hit the market, and I just came to an epiphany about a certain draft class that I am just so excited to hunt down right now in this live stream.
Okay. I'm excited to hear about that because I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. So let's go with it, man.
Let's dig in, y'all. So this is the draft class I'm so excited about. It's 2022. It's the second year guys that are going into this year, and it's all around the flip, man. I don't want to hear long-term nothing, baby. I'm living in this summer right here, heading into September this fall for the 2023 NFL season, and 2022 Select has hit the market. All right, and so has 2022 Optic. So we're looking at now all the major sets, Mosaic, Prism, Select, Optic, all out in the market on eBay. There's a lot of 2022 product getting sent to auction, just like I don't care. That got to go to auction, for-set sale. A lot of big consignment shops, big breakers, people that just want to move product. Putting stuff in auction right now is a great time to hunt these second-year breakout candidates and flip them heading into the season, Steve.
No, that's exciting, and it does make for like another play, which is hunting the previous draft class because while all eyes are on these guys, you can sneakily buy guys from last year at a value.
That's an interesting tidbit there, man. So you're talking about doing a little bit of zagging while everybody's zigging.
Yeah, unless you're like busting a blaster and hitting pay dirt with a big case hit or something like that. The prices are going to be sky high, so initially you're going to want to just sell. Prices are going to be high on the new stuff for a while. We've seen that even with like when base Donruss comes out, the $1,000 Mac Jones PSA 10 base Donruss, so learn from that mistake. And if you got something new hot from a new product, move it now. You can probably get back into it not too distant future, as long as it's not like a 101.
There you go. Excuse me, I had a little bit of indigestion there, but yeah, I like the strategy there, Steve. And it's what I take away there is it's all around the flip. It's all around the flip, right? And that's the same thing I'm trying to do with 2022. And I want to give you somebody to chew on immediately in this live stream. You know how we like to do, Steve. We like to deliver value right away to the good people on the quest. And that guy, for me, is going to be Sam Howell. I'll put him right on the thumbnail. I want to go up and pull up the 2022 product I'm looking at right now. Interesting one that's here. This Rookie Kings Prism from Optic is an interesting card. I'm not sure I'd pay $150 for it, but I do know it's short print, Steve.
He's an interesting one. Because there's a lot of people paying a lot of money for his really, really rare stuff in the hopes that he takes off. So, you wouldn't be alone in the Sam Howell hunt. But I think that window is beginning to close. Like you see an Optic Hollow there, $850, not bad. I think if you're going to go in on a Sam Howell card, you go in on something of high scarcity. If you're going to go in on it, make it worth the gamble. Because that's where the biggest return is going to be. If you're buying them just to buy them as a collector, you could probably potentially wait for some kind of letdown. He's not going to, I don't think, come out of the gates running and not have a bad game. So, but you're buying on hype right now, and you should be selling on hype too.
That's a good point, man. But this did end 1850.
Oh,
Just to
okay.
point out, it didn't update from the thumbnail here because it literally just must have just ended. But you're
Okay.
right, his base rookie ticket autos, which if you look at skill position guys, the sleepers, like we looked at Ty Chandler and Jerome Ford, some of our favorite sleeper running backs right now to target that are moving up those fantasy draft boards. If you look at Sam Howell's rookie ticket auto compared to theirs, you can see his is 205. Theirs are $5. Of course, there's sleeper skill position. He's in that sleeper quarterback category. But the things I do like, Steve, I think you'll agree with me on, is their opening schedule at home against the Cardinals. That's very nice. If he can beat Jacoby Brissett in the battle during preseason, we did see Sam Howell flash in a game last year and in the preseason last year. He doesn't necessarily have the draft capital as a 5th-round pick out of UNC, but he actually, his first 3 seasons at North Carolina were dominant, Steve. He passed for over 3,500 yards and 30 touchdowns in each season. But in 2021, he literally lost all of his skill position guys that were of any value. De'Ami Brown, Daz Newsome, Michael Carter, Javonte Williams, and that kind of derailed his draft stock, his draft opportunity. But it did open another door for him to reveal that sneaky rushing upside. So he rushed for over 800 yards at UNC in 2021 while still passing for over 3,000. So that's that Konami code that we want to look for at quarterback, that rushing and passing ability. So he displayed those sneaky rushing upside ability last year, 8.9 yards per attempt in his one game that he played. So, there's a lot of ambiguity. Obviously, he's got 5th-round draft capital. They're not tied to him. Jacoby Brissett is getting one of the largest, if not the largest, backup quarterback salaries in the league this year. So there's definitely an open competition. The GMs, the coaching staff say they're all in on Howell, but I tend to think Ron Rivera holds information very close to his vest. I'm not sold on him. That's why I am flipping him heading into the season versus like trying to make a long-term play here. But I do think he continues to build steam heading into the season.
I agree with that. If you look at some of the lower end stuff that you're swiping past, like the $3 base optic with free shipping, pretty safe, right? Even if he becomes or remains a starter, even if he's not top tier, that's still a fair price. You probably won't really lose on that. But on the contrary, on some of this higher end stuff, autos, RPAs, national treasures, yada yada yada. If he does prove to be, what a lot of people in the hobby like, and that's the flashy, big play guy, that can run touchdowns in or throw them. Well, then you might have like a new hobby superstar on your hands. So I'm not completely sold on him myself, but I do agree that, especially with the opening schedule, if you can find a good enough deal, you'd be looking to move it either by week 1 or, in the first week or 2.
It's tough, Moon, because I'm looking at like purple cracked ice here out of 225. I'm looking at the optic lasers, which I love. I think they're called velocities. I know you love those too. They're really cool design. This is a scanned image as well, which I think it makes that laser design or that velocity design really pop. But yeah, I'm looking at some significant competition cards already up to 41, 81 here. And I would love to get a rookie auto around that price. And right now I'm having to pay about, probably about 150, 200 when you clearly saw me get a card from the 2021 draft class of Mac Jones, who's got 1st-round draft capital, potentially going to get a big wide receiver upgrade. I'm convinced, Steve, about that. And you saw me snipe his card in the stream last week. We got it numbered out of 75 rookie auto for $100, man.
That's a banger, man. I'm really, really happy we got that one for you. And here's one thing you got to think about. You saw, kind of the middle and the ceiling with what Mac Jones stuff looks like. So then you kind of just have to ask yourself, you know, if you could get it for the same price or less, wouldn't you just spend a little bit less and get a Mac Jones of the same card? You know, I know here's the thing. Everyone wants the new shiny toy, Andy. Everybody wants to be in on that guy that busts out. And the flip side to that is he doesn't, you know. So with Mac Jones, you've seen him play well and you've seen him play not well. You could only assume that with better play calling and more talent on the field this year that he'll kind of bounce back. You know, you have a virtually unknown outcome for Sam Howell. So that's where the risk and reward comes in.
Yeah, it's such a huge risk reward. It's like what type of upside can I realize between now, buying them now, and flipping them at the start of the season? It is kind of tough. You can definitely see that upside in the Chihuahua that we're about to do on Underdog Fantasy. Like just looking at his rankings and his ADP. If we come over here to Underdog Fantasy, type in Sam Howell, you can see that his ADP is 196.4. He's going in the very final rounds of this draft. That's actually 196.4 is QB 27. And you compare that to Mac Jones, who actually has moved up a couple spots, is 204. So they're both going at the end of the draft. So the ADP is not very different, but the values are different. And it almost makes me think, Steve, like talking about shiny new toy, I've almost got to wait the rookie FOMO element, or FOMO meaning fear of missing out. For any of you that don't know what I'm saying when I say FOMO, I've almost got to weight that even higher on the hype index for the hobby. It's crazy how much that is weighted in the hobby.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You could put two guys on paper and look at statistics, and one guy's going to be way better numerically than the other. But one guy, I mean, we saw it with Trey Lance, and his values were just outrageous, despite not only not playing an NFL snap, but playing very few college snaps on top of that. So, I mean, the sensationalism that comes with, hype or prospecting, in many other sports, but now in football as well, is sometimes you could clearly say is out of control. Everyone wants to hit gold, they don't want to hit that fool's gold, but unfortunately when you're digging, there's going to be more fool's gold than gold. Not every guy is going to be the next Pat Mahomes.
And early grade results are coming back for Sam Howell here. 54% on the base Prism. That's the PSA 10 rate. 39% for 9s. It's still very low at only 99 PSA 10s and 72 9s. And within the last 30 days, you do have 12 sales. So people definitely are buying this. Even buy it now. Clearly, you can see the advantage there for the buy it now, Steve. 65 to 49. Yep, 65 on average for the buy it nows. All right,
it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean,
no, it's not bad. So let's pull in.
What do you got? Here's a question. What, instead of comparing him to Mac Jones, what does a Bailey Zappi of the same class go for? Because
that's a great point.
Right. There's still a lot of hype around him, despite the fact that he's not a starter, but he has started games. And I would actually be willing to bet that Howell's maybe a little bit higher. I think Zappi might be probably like 40 to 50. Like, I think the Zappies might actually be more than the Mac Jones base PSA 10s.
Probably because of the pop report. The graded results right now on Zappi are probably going to be pretty low. I just want to look at the Mac real quick. Yeah, you could buy his PSA 10 base Prism, population of 1,889 for $35 right now. So there's definitely like a floor there on his cards. Let's see if we've got any graded results back for Bailey Zappi. We do. So that's nice. $35, Steve. So it's right in line with what
Mac is.
The Mac is. 68% PSA 10 rate on his.
80
which is
pop,
actually,
though. Oh, man.
Yeah, only 80. 33 9s and 2 8s. But so far, I mean, that's promising. It may be a combination of people examining cards better when they're submitting, becoming more knowledgeable in the hobby about what to look for when grading raw cards. Plus, I tend to side with some people that speculate that PSA could be hedging grades for some of the more popular players submitted. And certainly, like Bailey Zappi is going to be pretty far down their list of really hyped up guys, right? They're probably, if anything, they'd be hedging the grades on like a Sam Howell, I guess, or maybe Desmond Ritter, or definitely Brock Purdy, right, and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely possible. Unfortunately, there is, they admitted it's to some degree that there are a level of gatekeeping happening at the highest level. So I would definitely speculate that there's some degree of favoritism and or I don't know, you'd call it grade scaling happening, where they don't want to put too many 10s out of certain guys. So that's probably a real thing.
This is his rated rookie. Wow, that's a bad result so far on the rated rookie, which typically does pretty well. This one, not so much, but it is Kenny Pickett. Okay, so that was his daughter. So I just pulled in the wrong picture. I wanted to look at Purdy's Prism. So 60%, almost 61% on Purdy's base Prism PSA 10, 685. Selling for 76.85, 85 there in that one bid auction. 95 in a buy now, almost $100 on that base.
If it wasn't for the injury, Andy, I mean, these prices would be still outrageous, I think.
Yeah, he's crushing it on the graded sold volume. Yeah, he's crushing it there. Okay, that's the score. All right, I have to get with some of the pictures a little messed up, but you guys get the point there.
So would you well, there was a $20 Zappi PSA 10. So would you, if you could spend, let's say $50 and you could get 2 Zappi PSA 10s or a Sam Howell, what do you think you're doing? I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer here, but
I think I'm going Zappi to hedge my bet that I've already made on Mac Jones. So if things go sideways with Mac and he flames out under Bill O'Brien, say they get in DeAndre Hopkins, or maybe they don't, and he doesn't get the preseason pop that I'm hoping for, that'll really put him over the top, to flip it. I'd like to hedge my bet on Mac Jones with a Bailey Zappi.
What if, and this is again like a massive speculation, that's a nice one there. Whether it is or isn't debunked, the whole potential of Tom Brady playing for the Raiders, Brady has a long history with the Patriots. What if they're like, hey, man, let's go pick up the Mac attack and put him on the Raiders? Or what if they pick up Zappi? Now you have 2 starters, not 1.
Interesting. Well, I like 2 starters is better than 1.
Yeah, so even if you're hedging your bets, you made out even better by doing so.
Yeah, and it's nice to see I could get something like this right here, this Optic Contenders Rookie of the Year for $85. Buy it now. That's under $100 to get a rookie auto from a decent set, that's a nice card with the silver prism finish and everything. The autograph even looks to be on card. Pretty sure that's on card.
Yeah, I would agree. I really like those Rookie of the Years. Those are nice.
Yeah, it's a great card. It's from Contenders Optic. To get it for $885, I mean, you're paying at least double, maybe triple for the Sam Howell. So sure. I like that. I like that thought exercise. Actually, you've got me off of Sam Howell now and just continue to buy the Mac Jones to flip heading into the season, and then to hedge that with some Bailey Zappi, who actually was drafted in the 4th round. So he was drafted just a couple picks ahead of Sam Howell. The Patriots passed on Sam Howell to draft Bailey Zappi. So there you go, man. Almost identical draft capital. And so moving on, Steve, who is a second year player, or I guess it could be third year player for you, that you are planting your flag on this year in 2023 that you think is a good target right now to snipe?
Honestly, I've actually bought some Bailey Zappies recently, so that was actually part of why I mentioned that. I know
Nice.
that you're not particularly a fan, but I've bought quite a few Alex Smith, or it's not Alex, Alec Pierce rookie ticket autos on the cheap, and you can actually get some short print optic variations for. When I say cheap, I'm not talking $5, but I'm talking like 10, maybe 15 for serial numbered versions. But how can you have all this Anthony Richardson hype? He's unless he's just going to run the ball every down, like he's going to throw it to somebody, and you got to think that he's probably an upgrade, over everyone that's been there in the last couple of years. So I think he's a guy to keep an eye on. Michael Pittman is a guy that I like too, but you're talking 2020. But Alec Pierce is pretty interesting.
Alec Pierce does check the boxes, man. It's not quite to the standard of a Derek Richard 4th-round wide receiver. He is, he's a solid 2nd-round draft pick on day 2. He played with Desmond Ridder. He was one of Desmond Ritter's primary targets at Cincinnati, but he checks the box of having the 90th percentile 40-yard dash, 4.41 40-yard dash. Combine that with being 6'3", 208. Pretty ideal size with 33-inch arms. That's a big catch radius, 96 percentile catch radius, Steve. And that puts him in a 95th percentile for his height-adjusted speed score. I like that. His yards per reception, 17. So that shows that he goes deep. He gets the ball, breakout age, 81st percentile is a good indicator of future wide receiver success. I know there's a whole Senior Bowl debacle, and there definitely I have my doubts around him in just that passing game as a whole with Anthony Richardson. But you're right, they're obviously gonna have to throw the ball. The defense is not going to be as good as last year, I don't think, and the offense should be pretty good, man. Should be pretty good with the rushing upside from Anthony Richardson, and then also a healthy Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman taking the alpha coverage. Should free up Alec Pierce. You look at their depth chart. Yeah, we like Ashton Doolin as a deep sleeper, and he's out there in like the number 4 spot. They draft another rookie, Josh Downs, for the slot, but Alec Pierce is going to be their flanker in 2 and 3 wide receiver sets, Steve. That means he's going to have a high snap share. So that's a lot of opportunity, man. I think that he could definitely go up, especially when you combine the fact that he's getting primarily deep targets. Anthony Richardson, with that arm, is going to definitely let it rip at points. I think it's an interesting play, Steve. I think it's definitely one worth having exposure to. His fancy ADP is 173, so you can get him really late. He should be super cheap.
Yeah, and we've done a few of these drafts live, and I know a lot of people in the Discord have done some on their own as well. But there's some guys that are just really hard to pair up because their ADP is, so close to the quarterback that they're attached to. Whereas, if you're taking Colts, shouldn't be a problem. There's a lot of other teams where that's not the case either. If you look at like Justin Fields and DJ Moore, their ADP is 1 apart. So the odds of pairing them up is low. Out of the 20 drafts I've done this season so far, I've only seen one guy get both, and he had back-to-back picks. So it's just a really low likelihood. So, but if you're looking to correlate, receiver with quarterback, and you're taking Richardson, you can get a guy like Pierce quite late.
I'm not a big fan of these $5 shipping price tags on these cards that are going to clearly end under $20. But I would say there's always a way around that, right, Steve? I could go and mine this guy's store and bundle some cards together, see what else he's undervaluing. And
yeah, No, he's actually a good seller. I've bought quite a few cards from that guy, and he's got a lot of auctions daily. So there's no doubt you could find some other stuff to ship it with.
Penmanship score for Alec Pierce
9
out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good auto.
I'm gonna give him a 7.5.
I think maybe the ink looks a little bit light because of the photo, but I think the auto is actually pretty good quality.
Let's see what else we can find. Are his rookie ticket autos on card? They look to be. Well, I can see the P. I mean, basically, when you look at who was it, Pierce Strong, that's all you get is that P right there. You get that big, you get that big P. At least you get like an AL. You get an ALP. I'll give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 for his auto penmanship, just because I've seen so much worse from so many other players. At least you get 3 letters here. Okay, we'll give him a 7.
There's actually, Andy, for those willing to delve it out, there is a rookie ticket auto gold out of 10 with a buy it now of 150 best offer available.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. This one's also interesting, ending in 32 minutes out of 49. He's got a few followers, man. 14 bids on this card. It'll be interesting to see what this one ends at later in the stream here. Let's see what this one gets up to, Steve, as we jump into this Chihuahua. I did want to shout out Andrew Mackins from UnderdogFantasy.com, Steve, because he shared with me a pick'em that he wanted me to share with everybody on the stream, a season-long pick'em. So let's go back to the pick'ems, guys. If you're not familiar, we're on UnderdogFantasy.com. We are looking at season-long pick'ems for the NFL. And what we're doing is we're trying to string picks together. We're either picking over or under on different stats and string them together, potentially 20x our money, whatever bet we put in. And right now, you get a 100% instant deposit bonus with promo code QUEST up to $100. So you can put in as little as 10, get an instant 10, promo code QUEST. Up to 100, get a free 100, Steve, with promo code QUEST. Can't beat it. Are you ready for the pick'em that he gave me? I don't know if I mentioned it, or do you want to take a guess?
Is it just like a recommendation of his? Is that what we're going with here?
That was just one that he pointed out to me that he wanted me to share that he felt was very tantalizing. And it's the DeAndre Swift season-long projection here.
Okay.
Because I told him, look, if DeAndre Swift stays healthy, this is an easy over for me. 575 rushing yards. I'd go either one. I think this is an over for me, but especially those rushing yards, it feels very low considering the fact that there's a possibility he could be healthy. Now, if you're just going to go ahead and say, well, the guy's never been able to play a full season, then we can go ahead and bet the under on this. But
I think a lot of people have already forgotten that just like a season or two ago, before he got hurt, people were pegging him as like the top rushing yard potential leader next to Jonathan Taylor for the season, going into 21. People thought that he could be the RB1 in the league prior to getting hurt. So I don't think that that's a bad number at all, realistically.
Well, and the touchdowns are interesting as well, because I guess you do have to you do have to differentiate between passing and rushing. These aren't anytime touchdowns; they're just rushing touchdowns, and this is just rushing yards. So, like he's hit this over 1 out of the last 3 years. But like we mentioned, he hasn't played a full season to this point. The efficiency last year actually was his best in his career at 5.5 yards per carry. Now he's going to be playing behind the best offensive line in his career with undoubtedly a chip on his shoulder, you would imagine, on a contending team with a lot of depth chart competition. So, we know it's going to be some form of committee, and there's 3 or 4 guys going to split with, whether it's Rashad Penny or Kenneth Gainwell or Boston Scott. But I gotta think this is a pretty easy over here this year. Super high octane offense, a lot of red zone opportunities, a lot of just offensive opportunities. Period. Behind a high quality offensive line, best in the league, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, even if even if him and his counterpart get 750 each, which is not that good, but let's say he has a handful of good games and then gets hurt, 575 isn't that hard to do, even if he gets hurt.
So I'm going over on DeAndre Swift, and instead of going the over on Jalen Hurts rushing yards, I think we should be smashing the over on Jalen Hurts passing yards. Let's be real here for a second, Steve. He passed for 3,700 last year, all right, and they actually passed the ball more in neutral game script scenarios than most teams. Like they pass the ball when they're in neutral game script scenarios in the beginning of a game. But once they get a lead and they start dominating the team, then they start running the ball a lot more. But if you look at their neutral game script passing rate, it's actually pretty solid. Now Shane Steichen, the offensive coordinator, goes to the Colts. The quarterback's coach, Brian Johnson's promoted to the offensive coordinator. This is the guy that's credited for helping Hurts take the passing step he did last year, along with bringing in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert. So I think it's almost a no-brainer that they pass the ball more this year. They are forced to as well because they lost key pieces to their defensive secondary. So defense is going to be legit, especially that front seven and the linebackers. And they still got a couple good corners, but it's not going to be as lethal as it was last year in the secondary. So I think this is going to lead to when they play better offenses, there's going to be just a higher probability of shootouts, which is going to force Jalen Hurts, like we said, in a neutral game script scenario when he's tied with another team to throw the ball more. And he's already hit over on 3,500. Steve, what am I missing here? This is like one of the easiest overs I've seen on here.
Yeah, I think that's realistic. And you see a lot more teams going for it on fourth down. And I don't think they're going to come out of the gate looking like an undefeated team. Maybe they will, but if they're in more battles where they actually have to throw the ball, that only creates more of an upside for the over on that.
Yeah, I think Hurts has a career season. I think he's going to flirt with MVP consideration. He's going to flirt with QB1 overall. It's going to be very interesting, man. That 2020 quarterback class is just looking so dominant. It's looking like the new wave of quarterbacks of the future. I was looking at an interesting stat from 33rd Team earlier, Steve, on eBay, where they said, there's been 114 teams in the. Hold on 1 second. I want to pull up because this is like from a former coach, and it was basically talking about quarterbacks that have been in a Super Bowl. Let's see. Notifications. Let's go to this real quick. Yeah. Okay. This is from offensive coordinator Mike Martz, former, retired. In total, there have been 114 teams that played in the Super Bowl, and 68 of them were led by a QB who eventually made the Hall of Fame or is likely to get inducted. That's just pretty interesting because that is that's over 50%. That's like 60% of those teams led by a quarterback who eventually made the Hall of Fame. So I think that gives you a lot of confidence investing in Jalen Hurts, a guy that's much cheaper than Herbert and Burrow. Burrow, another guy that's been there, so he's clearly a future Hall of Fame candidate now as well. But the odds are pretty good in Hurts' favor to continue this dominant run here for at least the next 4 years, right, Steve?
I agree, man. Hurts, I think the Eagles actually, have a pretty clear path back to the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl again. That team is just really good, and they just have an incredible offense and a good enough defense to do it. Hurts is elite. There's no other way to say it. And we always talk about like intangibles, but the intangible with him is the guy is just a big dude and he's got wheels, so he probably is similar size to some of the linebackers in the league. So as far as longevity goes, like the guy's going to be able to take more hits, and if he's got that kind of speed at his height, man, there's just so many things you can do. I still think that Hurts' ceiling in the hobby has not been reached.
No, I totally agree with you. I want to see what the line is on AJ Brown, because if I'm going over on the passing yards for Hurts here, I want to go over on the receiving yards for some of his young stud weapons, like Mr. AJ Brown here. This is a beefy line at 1,100, but we've talked about him in the past. He put up 1,500 receiving yards last year, and if Hurts is just going to throw the ball more, like that's just such an easy number. Either one of these, he put up 11 touchdowns last year. He put up 1,500 receiving yards. I mean, like, pick your poison here. Either one is going to be money in the bank.
I don't know if we've covered it on the channel before, and I'm sure this number's gone up since then, but Jalen Hurts was squatting like 600 pounds in college. That's just absolute madness.
Such a stud.
And you want to talk about guys that are freaks of nature. I mean, AJ Brown is another guy too. I mean, you're putting, and then even Devontae Smith, another guy that's just a little bit thinner, faster, but he's like the opposite end of the spectrum. But again, just absolute physical freaks, and they have talent, which is the perfect pairing.
Yeah, and the thing is, these numbers are set lower than what they achieved last year. So they just have to meet the expectations they hit last year, and they're going to be throwing the ball more this year. It's pretty clear based on the actions that they've taken in personnel and coaching this offseason. It's going to be dialed up a little bit more, Steve. So I think these are both easy overs. Now, we do have to have a bring back for another team. We got to have a bring. And actually, I'm going to take Swift. I decided I'm going to take Swift off of this because I want to bring back a quarterback and a receiver from another team. And to do that, in commemoration here about this Chihuahua getting ready to jump in, we've got the week 15, 16, 17 schedule pulled up, Steve. I got my favorite, a lot of my favorites, not all of them, but I got a lot of my favorites highlighted in green here. Both powerful offenses that can put up points and force the other opponent to put up points, leads to shootouts, right? So I got the Eagles at the Seahawks here, and then I got the Eagles at the Giants, playing at home against the Giants week 16. And then week 17, the Eagles get the cakewalk matchup against the Cardinals. Not touching anybody on the Cardinals. I wouldn't mind, though, playing the Giants. Don't feel confident on which receiver I would pick from the Giants at this point. I love the smoke that Paris Campbell's getting in camp, but I'm pretty confident in that fizzling out come week 1. It would be interesting to see if there's anything for Darren Waller.
It's interesting, Andy, if you look at reoccurring reports in the preseason, every year there's a guy or two that they forecast as like a gadget player, the next Deebo Samuel, he's going to take snaps at running back. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And realistically, not many of those guys have actually done it to enough of repetition to make them a higher value than the reports would lead them to be. I think the only one that actually has was Cordero Patterson, and he's actually, slowly taken less and less of a role because of some of the draft picks they've had. So take it with a grain of salt, but I mean, if you're able to get a value, it's definitely worth it. A guy like that's going to a team like the Giants that doesn't have a clear-cut number one is actually probably a better risk than him going to a team where there's like other good receivers.
Yeah, this number still scares the shit out of me, man. 750 yards for a guy that played only 9 games last year, 11 games the year before, and is now 31. I know he's a freak athlete at 6'6", 255, but not hitting this over since 2020 definitely scares me, man. And that number for Daniel Jones, he barely hit it last year. So that definitely scares me a little bit, especially when you talk about some of their weapons offensively potentially fizzling out. I think you got to put a higher fragility rating on a Darren Waller. Like he's not from the same cut of cloth that a Travis Kelce is. You know what I'm saying? It's like the games played are just drastically different there over the career. I'm really intrigued though by that week 15 matchup against Seattle here. The Eagles playing Seattle. Geno 3,800 yards, adding additional weapons. Still on that YOLO contract. Geno Smith. How do you feel about going over, pairing this slip with the over on 3,800 when he threw for 4,300 last year?
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you got to think that they're going to play at least a similar split run and pass, and you could argue they have another weapon now. I think that the only thing that you could make the argument for is their defense got better. So you could say, oh, they're going to allow less points. They might throw less, maybe, but that's a pretty big speculation.
Yeah, and I still think their front seven is not going to be. It's not going to be elite. So they're still going to be. I still think they're going to get into plenty of shootout scenarios where teams are just scoring on them, and they're going to be aggressive, scoring right back. If Geno plays anywhere near he did last year, this is an easy over. You could also look at Tyler Lockett, who's at 825. The guy hasn't had a below 825 receiving yards since 2017, Steve.
That's pretty juicy, man.
2017, man. I mean, what am I missing here? I get you bring in JSN, but JSN is going to be this sport won't be scored live, but we'll pick shortly after the game though. Okay. The JSN is going to be playing a complementary role to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and two wide receiver sets. Then you put JSN in the slot. So he shouldn't really be taking away too much from Lockett, especially in a more explosive offense.
Just out of curiosity, while we're in here, I was gonna say I'm intrigued by Stafford because I feel like people think that he's just gonna fall off a cliff, but I don't think that's gonna happen at all.
Well, reportedly he's healthy, so this line is really close to Lockett. It's like, why not go with the man that they've trusted for so many years, who's in the sunset of his career? He's not quite as old as an Adam Thielen or even a Darren Waller, so it's like this is like the sunset of Tyler Lockett's career, man. He's been a guy who's taken really good care of his body. So we're going to go ahead and put in a $10 slip for this one here. Boom. Bingo. All right.
Nice.
There's a slip there. You want to look at Stafford real quick, and then we'll hop into a Chihuahua.
Yeah, Steven in the chat was kind of reading my mind with that one. I was hoping to do a like Stafford Van Jefferson play, depending on if he's available or not.
Why is he not showing up?
Maybe it's under Matt.
Well,
they don't have Stafford in there?
Stafford. No, maybe it's
what?
Let me just go Rams. No, They don't have a Stafford yet. No Stafford, unless it's taken down. Maybe the Stafford line got taken down. That was too good.
I like the Cam Akers though. That seems really low, man.
All the report there is very little depth chart behind him. Like Kyron Williams. The depth chart behind Cam Akers is pretty pathetic. And Cam Akers, he doesn't have a lot of mileage on his wheels since entering the NFL. He finished, like if you look at the game log, the way he finished his season last year was very good, including an RB1 finish against Denver in week 16. Those are playoff championship weeks where he put up 34.7 fantasy points, 3 touchdowns. So The juice is definitely still there for Cam Akers. I think he's kind of out of the doghouse this year. He's going to be relied upon a lot, I think, in this offense. He's not a card target for me just because I'm out on the Rams altogether in 2023. Their defense is just so bad. I think they're going to have a much better year than last year, Steve, but I don't think they're going to be a playoff team out of the NFC West, getting through the Seahawks or the 49ers. I don't see that happening. But when I look at this,
I mean, you ideally for fantasy, you want a good QB with a bad defense. That means he's gonna be on the field all the time, you know.
Yeah, that's why I like Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison this year. Has got to be one of the top offenses to target. I like this though, Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and if you throw in some Van Jefferson, sure, let's do it. Cam Akers, 750.
Akers had some monster games last year. Especially the last
put up
5.
786.
The last 5 games he had, I think 2 or 3 150-yard games. I think in the last 5 games.
And put up 786 rushing yards, matched his efficiency from his rookie season. So I think that's a very safe over on that one, Steve.
So they gave him the workhorse job week 16, and he delivered with 118, 123, 104. That's pretty nice.
I wonder if you can sort by just running backs or if you sort by RB. No. One of these Bears running backs, high confidence, one of these Bears running backs is going to go over. Maybe multiple ones, but this 460 from Donta Foreman, very juicy. Very bullish that one of these Bears running backs is going over. You guys love to run the ball, and that's why you added bruiser after bruiser depth to the room. I mean, I feel like you could probably go over on both of these guys. I wish there was a Roschon Johnson on here too, man, but
yeah.
Herbert had 732 rushing yards last year in just 13 games, man. 13 games on just 129 attempts, 5.7 yards per carry.
I agree with Derek. I think that it was just presumed that Herbert was going to start once Montgomery left, but that's definitely not the case. They will use primarily 2 backs and then a third for goal line situations. And then they still have 2 guys that are going to be third down / special teamers. So it's just a mess, man. But I do think those numbers are low enough that you could make an argument for any of them.
Donta Foreman put up 914 rushing yards last year on 203 attempts. Even if he gets only 100 attempts in this offense, which is very realistic, especially, on a run-heavy team, even we're talking about splitting it 3 ways, all right? So you consider the 200 rush attempts that David Montgomery has vacated by leaving Chicago. And then we talked about how many did Khalil Herbert get? He got 129. So it's 330 right there. Plus there's, I'm sure, a few other guys. I think, didn't you guys pick up Travis Homer or something like that took some snaps last year? Yeah, Travis Homer, Tristan Ebner.
Yeah, him and Ebner are going to be fighting for a roster spot.
Fighting for a roster spot.
Yeah.
But last year, he took 19. Homer took 19. Ebner, let's see how many Ebner took. So far, we're up to 350. Ebner took 25, so 375. So there we go. Split it down the middle. Each one of these guys gets about 125 carries. 125 carries for Donta Foreman at his efficiency at 4.5 yards per carry is well over 460 yards. We're talking more about that 600-700 yard mark, and each one of these guys could be about that mark. One of those guys could go well over with a couple breakaway runs and some big games, just with a hot hand. So I'm just going to go with the guy who's got the lower number, who put up. Just incredible bruiser running back, and he's also expendable because they didn't have to pay a lot for Deonta Foreman, and he's a veteran. So
yeah, they can run him. They can run him into the ground without penalty. Right?
Yeah, run him into the ground without penalty. I think that's probably what they'll do because he's got the most experience. Maybe by the end of the year, Roschon takes over this backfield and kind of earns him at least like maybe a 50% workload, and then it's split the rest of the way between Foreman and Herbert. Just because Roschon's probably got the most juice, but I don't know, man. Deonta Foreman had a lot of juice last year, so I'm excited to see him on the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, a guy that probably most people wrote off early in his career is definitely having a little. I think it's too early to call it a renaissance, but I mean, he's having a late career surge, and it's nice to see.
Now, I did hear 2023. One more topic conversation before we hop into the Chihuahua. I did hear 2023 Chronicles football is out, I believe, or it's coming out right now. Somebody messaged me and said Chronicles just dropped. So I'm counting on that. I'm gonna have to go back to my DMs and find out who that was. Oh yeah, see, look, sealed hobby box. The hobby boxes are out. There's like no product yet on. I don't see any singles yet. Man,
I wonder if it's like formally out or if somebody leaked a couple boxes.
First off the line, are they doing FOTL with Chronicles?
These you might want to check the description. These could also be like pre-sales. The product may not even be out.
When typically from what I've seen, they'll put pre-release on here. It's not showing it. I'm not showing it on here. All right, so sometimes gotta go to Steel City Collectibles. Just go to the release schedule here.
Let's see. Cardboard Connection says
I will join you in Chicago. All right, June 23rd.
This says July 5th, Andy.
What?
July 5th.
Oh, man. 2022 Chronicles Football Hobby Box. Steel City saying June 28th.
Okay. Yeah, so, Cardboard Connection said whatever. Either way, it's not out.
Yeah, whatever. It's not out for another 6 days. According to this calendar here on Steel City, saying release is 6/28 is when they'll start shipping it out. Release is 6/28, but it also says subject to change. So, yeah. But sometime between 6/28 and 7/5, and this is a big release. This is going to take the place of a lot of Bowman Chrome University, Bowman's Best, Leaf Draft. Of course, those super rare ones, they'll do okay. So you're not have to worry about those super rare college autos. But excuse me, the new rookies. I think, Steve, this is one of the popular aspects of the sets. Is it going to release a Prism Black?
Oh,
wait.
Damn.
This is 2022. This is not the Chronicles. Oh, this is Chronicle. I was looking for draft picks.
Yeah, no, the draft picks is still going to have college uniforms.
I've been duped. Okay.
There it is.
There we go. 7/5. You're right.
Oh,
there's
look
the
at that
7/5.
16-box case. 7/5.
7/5, and then select draft picks 7/21. So 7/5 is the date then. So if there's any of those Bowman Chrome U's and stuff like that, you guys want to sell now on these rookies. They're super hot, like me. I am going to be selling my Hendon Hooker. Going to try and go ahead and get out of this now. and buy back into him probably like November timeframe. You know, some pro uniform stuff.
I will say this, you know, there's a plus and a minus to those cards. There's some pretty sweet cards that come out of those, but as a whole, there's a lot of junk, right? And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much true of you know, just about any product that you buy. But if you're especially not into college uniforms, that's like a double negative, you know.
I just found this is contradictory advertisement, because from what I understand, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud have an exclusive contract with Fanatics for their autograph cards. From everything I've been hearing, even from guys like Card Collector 2, probably one of the biggest names in the hobby, is that these guys that have exclusive contracts with Fanatics aren't going to have autograph cards from Panini. But here's Panini clearly telling us, look for the gold vinyl autograph of Bryce Young in this new set we're releasing July 5th. Are they lying here, or are we just misunderstanding the Fanatics exclusive contract?
That's a pretty good question, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Fanatics contract is exclusive to pro uniforms. That could be a thing. And maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe the college stuff is still on the table. I think it just has to do with pro uniform, if I had to guess. From my understanding, Fanatics pulled the same trick with NBA, where now you're going to have a lot of the top young guys coming into the league that won't have autos in the new product. So, I mean, you are essentially gimping all new product coming out, because the top, you know, guys that you're looking to pull rare autos from, like, just won't be in the set.
I do like that they're putting a lot of optic in this year. I'm very tempted to buy a box. I'll post this up. It's only $175. 8 cards per pack, 6 packs per box. I'm tempted to buy a couple boxes and do a break at cost for everybody in our Patreon pro membership over at patreon.com/footballcards. I'll post up in the Discord, see if you guys are interested. But you get 3 autographs per box. So if we did 2 or maybe even 3 boxes, it still wouldn't be that bad of a buy-in at cost, and divided by 12 people. And then like two boxes is perfect, because you can buy 2 boxes for $350, and you're guaranteed 6 autographs. 6 autographs, Steve. And $350 plus shipping divided by 12 is when you like do that math, divided by 12, that's only like $30 plus about $5 shipping, so like $35 a person. That's not bad, man. I think I'll definitely post that up and see if everybody's interested in doing one of these, just because of the autograph appeal of the rookies. See what we get.
I think it's interesting that they're showing a Spectra base Nebula. If you look at it, says 2 Spectra inserts per box. I think it's interesting that they're including Spectra inserts as 2 per box. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, 2 Spectra inserts, 6 hollow, 12 optic, 1 silver. Very, very appetizing break highlights here. 3 autos.
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Something to keep in mind there, guys. 7.5 release. 7.5 release.
I do want to say this too, because I feel like we don't cover this side of the hobby nearly as much. And I know you do, Andy, and I know there's a ton of people in the chat or watching on YouTube that do as well. It ain't just about the flip, man. There's a whole another aspect of it. You know, I buy a lot of PC stuff. I know you do too as well. You know, if you're if you're a Gators fan, which I know you are, you know, I am too, even though I like UCF as my main team. But I mean, if you got an Anthony Richardson, yeah, that might be like a cool sell now because it's going to be the hot new product. But at the same time, that's a cool little, even if it's not that rare, like a cool little Gators PC card that you could hang on to for yourself. So I'm just saying it's not going to always be just about the flip. I've got some college unis, even though I don't like college cards, of guys that I collect just because it's cool to have if it's a guy you like.
Right on, man. Yeah, but definitely buy what you like, collect, have fun. That's the most important thing. Steven, you're not here by yourself. Good evening to Steven, FL, Matt Murray, Benjamin, Derek, Richard, 4th round wide receiver man in the house himself. Maybe I'll auto pick one here in a minute. Eclipse Cards.
For
Chad with the new profile pick. Loving it, man. It's
hey.
clean. Got that negative black and white look going.
Bush is asking about last 3 purchases. Let's see. I got an Illusions Trophy Collection Fields numbered out of 149. I got an Alec Pierce 101 printing plate and a Nico Collins out of 30 rookie ticket auto. Boom.
Ooh, very nice. It put me on the spot. I had to go look up. Let's see. I keep my purchase history very close to the vest because I like to unveil it on a mail day. But that's shipped. My Tyquan Thornton.
You could always throw, if you bought any PC stuff.
Like you guys saw this in the Discord. I fat fingered an auction, Steve. It was a Silver Prism rookie ticket auto for Tyquan Thornton. That was $15. I meant to put in $20.58, forgot the period, and put in a bid of $2,058. So, like, if any of the other bidders or the seller knew that, they could, like, run that shit, then I'd have to pay some ungodly amount of money for that card. But luckily, it did end, like, right there. I got it for a total of $21.50 out the door.
It is a real thing. Don't forget decimal points. I've made that mistake as well. Using a phone, it's a lot easier to think you hit the decimal point and you didn't, and accidentally bid $2,000 on a Cole Kmet National Treasures auto, which thankfully I won for $38, which was a steal. But yeah, it can happen, and thankfully no one put a egregious bid out that would have driven our price up.
Yeah, thank God, man. Thank God. Definitely would have not have wanted that. So say what's up to the real Noriega from Texas in the house. We got Bob Graff. We got Cole Vu. He said he's been trying to stack some numbered Sam Howell on the low to grade since I'm the PSA. Hopefully get back before the season starts. That would be really nice. Scatterbrain. All right, Scatter's in the house. It's time. We can officially start the draft. Thundering Sports Cards, doing very good. Thank you for that, sir. And yeah, Mr. T. James in the house posting up snipes. 10 minutes, $54 now. $54 now. $2021. Justin Fields rookie optic preview hollow prism silver preview PSA 9. Woo, buddy. That was $9.19. That was like 40 minutes ago. Man, can't believe we've been streaming for an hour already. Christopher Lopez in the house. All right, Steve, we better hop into this this draft. Got our man Filthy out there. Hector. He sure does, man. Late Stick. Oh, we got a super chat from Late Stick. Where are those new scissors at? I thought I put those new scissors in.
They were in the video. They were in the mail
in
video.
a video like a few weeks back. I don't have them out here right now. Believe it or not, I have the old ones out though. I just leave the old ones sitting out. The new ones, I think they're in the drawer. I have to go get them. All right.
I sent a couple of auctions your way. The one I just sent actually ends in about 9 minutes, but the other ones have quite a bit of time left.
But I really appreciate that super chat, Late Stick. That super chat is wide open, by the way, guys. If you want to ask where anything else is at or contribute to the show, all the hard work that Steve and I and all the other guests put in, let's go ahead and hop into this best ball draft on Underdog Fantasy, guys. It's that time. We got to get into the Chihuahua before it fills up, man. The numbers are going up fast here.
Best part of the day, Andy.
Yeah. You guys ready? I'm going to count down from 5, Steve. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. Enter.
Let's go. Hopefully we're all in.
That filled up quick.
That filled quick. I hope most of you guys got in this.
That filled super quick. Distant Cowboy, Ben Brady, Nobes, Gup, Baldwin. No, I didn't get into this with none of y'all.
Yeah, you're in mine.
Oh, Scaladesi. I see you.
If you guys are in the draft with us, say what's up in the chat.
Yeah, I don't usually recognize any of the mains except for Scaladesi.
The 9 o'clock ones are just a hair harder because of the fact this league is filling. But if you guys all got into a different one, in theory, we should end about the same time and maybe fire another one up.
Nice. It looks like some other Quest league mates got into a league together, so that's good. And you're not drafting right next to me, Steve. You're at the 1.9. So has that been pretty typical for you, the back end, or have you been pretty much all over the place?
Yeah, pretty much all over the place. I feel like I've been at like 3 through 5 almost entirely, which puts me in like McCaffrey to Kelsey range at seemingly almost every draft. So 9 is going to be a new spot for me.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey going early in this one, man. That means I'm going to have a pick between Cooper Kupp and are we fading Tyreek Hill now that he allegedly walked onto a boat at the Miami Marina and slapped a guy in the neck after getting into some kind of quarrel with him, and the guy now wants to press charges once he found out it was Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I feel like at least a little bit you have to. So I don't think anyone would judge you for going Cooper Kupp.
And then Stephon Diggs is disgruntled because they're running more heavier packages and wanting to become more of a run pass balanced team, and he's not digging it, man. Stephon Diggs is not digging it.
Stephon is not digging it, huh?
No, he's not. He's not digging it because it means even fewer targets, and he wants the damn ball, man. He's a ball hog. That's what he's being right now, is a ball hog. That's his cryptic. Stephon Diggs has got the most cryptic story posts ever.
Yeah, I mean, you got to appreciate the guy on the field, but man, off the field, it seems like he's kind of a headache, you know?
I'm not sure. I think this is a cryptic message from Chad here. He said, Cooper Kupp built my headboard. What? Sounds kind of cryptic.
Let's see who's coming. Oh, I got another pick coming up here. Oh, all right. Where to go next?
Derek says, hell no, buy the dip. Yeah, knowing our legal system around the players, probably nothing will happen in 2023 anyways, because they just hire the best lawyers that keep postponing everything.
Oh. Hezekiah Cup. You know, it's here's the thing, Andy, is the NFL is not consistent with player punishment. You've got guys that confirmed have pulled guns on people like Mixon, who are still on a team and not cut and may not face any discipline. And then you've got a guy like Matt Agiata, or if that's how you pronounce his name, the young punting stud for the Bills, who got cut after like sexual misconduct type allegation, which turned out to be completely false. So it's pretty interesting to see like the knee jerk reaction comparison from player to player.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I get it now. Because Cooper Kupp's an Amish woodworker.
He's got the beard. He's got the beard to prove it, man.
And he looks the part. I haven't read the article yet, but he definitely looks the part.
Yeah, Ray Lewis. Man, there's just so many guys that have done stuff. Kareem Hunt, he was on video, like hitting somebody, and no, that was Ray Rice. He came back in the league. He hit somebody and dragged them out the elevator. I think Kareem Hunt hit somebody too. So there's definitely not a level of consistency with player punishment.
All right. So, Steve, we both started off wide receiver. You've got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. I'm guessing you do not want me to select Jalen Hurts here.
Probably not, but I'd be shocked if he makes it back, to be honest.
That's messed up. I mean, nobody else got a reason to snipe him unless they plan on stacking him later with like Swift or just to run him naked. This third round has been pretty juicy for running backs. Got Breece Hall, Najee Harris, got DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen. Man, I love me some Keenan Allen this year. That Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert offense, healthy. So tantalizing. Got to do it, brother. Got to do it, especially looking at that. And I don't even care if I reach on him. I don't care. He's not going to come back to me. So I'm picking him. Damn right. I'm picking him 7 picks ahead of ADP. I got to get that differentiation. I'm just looking at the fact I got a Rams here. Rams playing the Saints in 16. And then Rams playing the Giants in 17. I got T. Higgins now. Let's see. So I got old Higgs. Higgs is where's the Bengals? Yeah, Vikings Bengals. Oh yeah. Bengals Steelers. Okay. All right. Maybe I give me some Joe Mixon late. Bengals Chiefs week 17. We all know that one.
For whatever reason, Andy, and maybe it's just maybe he's not flashy, he's not the Deebo Samuel and crazy playmaker type, but the guy has made a lot of big plays in his career. But the Keenan Allen, maybe won't make the Hall of Fame, but he's good enough. You want to talk about a model NFL receiver? He's just outstanding every year. Very limited injury history with the exception of last season. That's the guy you want on your team every year, especially for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about Quentin Johnson, their first-round draft pick, eating into Keenan Allen's opportunity share because Keenan Allen runs over half of his snaps out of the slot. So he plays a lot out of the slot. Quentin Johnson's going to be more of an outside clasher. He's going to eat into a lot of Josh Palmer's opportunity, mostly all of it, and then some Mike Williams if he can actually exceed expectations as a rookie. But not worried about Keenan Allen whatsoever. In fact, we know he's going to exceed 100 targets this year. If healthy, probably more exceeding 150. This is going to be a very high passing volume team and playing fast. And they're looking to correct the pathetic passing statistics from Justin Herbert last year. So this is why they brought him in, man. So Keenan Allen, smash play.
Yeah, that whole offense looked off last year, with the exception of like Austin Eckler. but the key component in that offense is Keenan Allen. I mean, Mike Williams is good. You know, Josh Palmer's all right. He's still got a lot of time to mature, but Keenan Allen is the guy still in that offense.
So he didn't get Hurts. That's a shame.
Nah, 2 picks before me. I went for it, man. I've never ended up with Brown and Smith in any of my drafts, so I went for the fences. It didn't pan out, but you know, it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah. I could go ahead and go with Burrow here.
If only week 17 matters. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people employed that draft strategy last year, and I bet that really backfired on them.
Yeah, I love the Seahawks finish at Steelers at Seahawks for Kenneth Walker. I love this finish for them the last 3 weeks. Titans, and
you know, Andy, the thing that no one really is taking into consideration, I get why the week 17 matchups matter, right? Because it's the final round, if you will. But keep in mind that there's going to be a lot of teams now that this is a longer season than in past years that are going to have a playoff position locked and may not play their starters. So, I mean, that there is still some degree of error that if you're picking key matchups, guys that are on really good teams, maybe the Niners, the Eagles, you know, any other team that is a favorite to win their division may not play starters or may play half a game only.
That's going to be hard to predict.
But
exactly. I guess it's good.
That's why it's a good measuring stick to a degree, but it can't be the end all be all because there's always other factors, you know.
Justin Herbert, he ain't coming back to me, man. I know that.
Grab him.
Nobody's gonna let him slide.
See, look,
who do you want to get?
There's the Moore and Fields sandwich, which is going to be really hard to get for anybody.
The Moore and Fields sandwich.
Yeah, there's ADP is back to back.
Oh, now if you're at the turn there, you could pull that one off, right?
For sure.
So we got a red shield here going very robust RB to start with Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Ramondre Stevenson out of the 3-hole. Finally pivots to wide receiver, goes Mike Williams, Christian Kirk. Interesting start, highly contrary to what has been pretty optimal, especially in this 3 wide receiver format. So it's 3 wide receiver plus a flex. So you got a bigger premium placed on the wide receivers than the running backs when you could start possibly 4 wide receivers any given weeks over 3 running backs.
Let's see. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because a lot of it hinges on, you know, who falls to you. You know, you might not be so high on the guys that fall into that little bracket of players in your ADP gap, if you will, and maybe you pivot, take a top tier running back and try employing a different strategy. You know, if you're doing a lot of these, like, you know, I've done 20, but that's like, you know, not much compared to how many some of these shielded guys do. They probably do like 20 a week, you know. You can't take identical sheets. You're going to have a couple of different strategies. Otherwise, you know, you're really putting all your eggs in one basket.
Hell yeah, man. Got to diversify. Kind of like the hobby, right? I mean, want to diversify that portfolio, get some mixed exposure, do a little bit more hedging. I think it's important to do a little bit more hedging. Whereas in this, decent field tournament here, we definitely want to swing for the fences. We don't necessarily want to have too much handcuffing going on and hedging going on, because that'll just limit the potential upside you could get from each position, you know?
Let's see. I'm on the clock here.
I love that J.K. Dobbins pick. 57, that's still money. Scatterbrain is apparently mucking up the other draft.
I get it. Derek said he disagrees. I get it. There's definitely a formula for the the final week or two that you want to employ when going into the final bracket, if you will. But again, that can backfire. We looked at last year preseason talking about like the Broncos matchup as like a marquee high scoring shootout, and that's why you took player A. And did any guy on the Broncos do anything last year? You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not 100%. There is some truth to it, but you're betting on, first of all, that team playing well throughout the year. Then you're betting on them playing well that game as well.
Traylon Burks continues to be a smash pick for me.
He's actually a guy that, I don't know if that's still the case now. I'm sure you could have or could pull some comps up on him, but he was a guy that you could get some decently rare stuff of autos, serial numbered autos, RPAs for relatively cheap that I only think is going to skyrocket once the season starts. If he starts the season the way his season ended, he'll be looked at as a top 10 receiver in the league potentially.
Agreed, 100%, man. And you notice they've been talking him up this offseason. He's teed up to absolutely smash. Between the vacated targets, the draft capital, the athletic ability, overcoming all the hurdles he did in his rookie season, he's teed up to absolutely smash. And then I think the real nail in the coffin will be if DeAndre Hopkins does in fact go to the Patriots and not the Titans, then there's going to be an immediate confidence boost in the wide receiver one status of Traylon Burks, and he's 100% because he's already gone up probably a couple rounds. Oh, I'm going to auto pick. What pick are we at here?
77.
77. Oh, my man. Quentin Johnston, baby. Let's go. Let's get that off of there. Stacking them, baby. I'm about to crush this draft. Got that Charger stack going. But anyway, I was saying Traylon Burks' ADP has already risen quite a bit since February, like since best ball season started. I don't know but he's already. He's all the way up to pick 68 in this and FFPC. He's at pick 76. So, that's a pretty big jump over probably like double-digit rounds. And yeah, I want to see if I can't potentially snipe that Alec Pierce out of 49 actually ended for $26, Steve.
That's not bad at all for a card that scarce. Here's the thing about Tannehill. You don't have to like him. I don't think unless they have like a really bad record that he gives up the starting job this year. They have a high winning percentage with him. When AJ Brown was his receiver, he had like the second highest QB rating in the league. He's not bad. He's not what you would call an elite quarterback, but he's definitely not bad. And if Burks comes into form, I think it'll be with him behind center and not, Levis or anybody else.
No bids on the Mac Daddy Select, but out of 30, like, okay, 269. It's only out of 30.
Yeah, it's not out of 5. It's not out of, right?
Yeah. For $269, I'm looking for something out of 5, out of 10 at the worst. gold. But out of 30 RPA, it's like, okay, you got a 1-of-1 gold here, but now you're at $1,300. Of course, you're not going to sell that. Nobody's going to bid on that. Crazy people. They don't even want to sell the card. Just want to float it out there to see, I guess, if they get any bids. Is the only thing I could think. Whew, excuse me.
Ooh, that variation's pretty nice. It's in a slab too for $9.
$9.99. 56 minutes left.
I know we've talked about those before. I think you were saying that you're not as high as the base prisms are, but I think they're cool, man. I honestly really like them. I even like
That's
the
cool.
optic. I like the optic variations too.
I'd be way more inclined to. Oh no! Come on, get me back to my draft. I'm gonna end up auto picking. You watch. I've totally lost the draft. 10 seconds left. Good, thank God I've got people queued up. What pick is this?
It's 92.
Cortland Sutton. Come on, I got him. Whew. Oh God.
I'm gonna take
that
a
was
little
close, man.
Take a gander at your squad so far. All right, I like it, man.
It's
I like
a ton of wide receiver weapons.
No, but you've got a good Charger stack going.
And I'm gonna back the truck up with sleeper running backs. Just everybody and everybody in the league. I'm backing the truck up for all of them later on. It's just gonna be just a pickup fest, man. Just gonna load these guys up in the back of this truck, this championship roster truck right here.
Yeah, I think these are, I like doing these with the community, and I like doing these with you, Andy, because it's cool. We're playing against each other, but we're playing against like a whole field of dudes, like not just in our immediate pool. Like initially we are, but we now have the prospect of taking it to a whole nother level, like we did a few times last year, going into second, third, fourth ish rounds in some cases. So it's cool, man. If we're doing a lot more of these, somebody in our group is gonna make it and make a couple bucks here. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I've got a really good feeling about it as well, man. All right, so let's see what we can find under buy it now, price plus shipping, lowest first. All right. Off center, like pretty bad, but okay. Here we go.
Ooh,
Talk to me. $25 Silver Prism Auto. I kind of like the penmanship here with this giant black Sharpie. I don't see any other players signing with this giant black Sharpie.
Oh my God, dude. That's hideous. It's like he was like, I'm tired. I'm just going to use the fattest marker I can find.
All right, let's see. All right, let's see if I can get back to the draft board here.
Don't let them bully you, Scatter, man. Anybody can win these things.
Yeah, don't. Derek Richards a ball buster. Let him bust your balls. It's okay. Does it to me all the time. Auto picking, the huge. Yeah, I think we're going with a full Denver Broncos stack here, man. We're going with the full Chargers Denver Broncos stack. So, second quarterback's going to be Russ. Got Cortland Sutton, Samaje Perine.
Gallup did not. Oh, somebody was asking about Gallup in the chat. He's now 2 years removed from a major injury, so I think that he's got some pretty good upside this year.
And he's on a massive contract, man, which is crazy that they gave him the contract knowing he wasn't going to be healthy last year. Kind of mind-blowing. Not going to lie, definitely, I think there's some uncertainty around that Dallas offense. It's hard to believe anything that Mike McCarthy says, so I really don't know what we're going to see. And, he talks about wanting to run the ball more and this and that, but that's not really what their offseason actions have dictated, if you know what I'm saying, Steve.
I think they're, I don't know. They're talking run, but I just couldn't see them doing anything different than they've been doing, honestly.
Now, the schedule is pretty stout. I like the passing attack there. I just hope that Brian Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy don't just like totally implode this whole thing that they had going last year, especially once Dak got healthy. I'm hoping they could build on that, but that definitely makes me concerned when they ship off Kellen Moore, their offensive coordinator, who was calling the offense to the Chargers. Definitely not a big Schottenheimer fan as their consultant, and now their OC. I don't like Mike McCarthy. Not gonna lie, I'm concerned about this offense, but I feel like maybe it could be more hands off, and the players are so talented and experienced at this point that they just kind of run it, and they're forced in these situations where they do have to play aggressive, up tempo, pass it. Because Tony Pollard's a great receiver. I think you got to utilize that receiving ability.
Tough one, but
116 coming up. Oh, man, I was going to get Damian Harris too. I love that pick in Buffalo. They've never really had a power back, a true power back. That's what Damian Harris is. He's a bruiser, man, like a Deonta Foreman or that Khalil Herbert. I mean, like Roshan Johnson, like that's Damian Harris. Like, bring him into Buffalo, throw him in there in the red zone, just piss Stephon Diggs off, man. That's why he's so pissed off. Harris is going to vulture a bunch of touchdowns from him this year.
People forget, because he had that injury before kind of getting shelved last year, but just the season before, he had over 200 fantasy points for the Patriots. So, it's if Buffalo treats him the same way he was used over there, possibilities are pretty serious.
Oh, I don't mind if I do on a Devin A. Chain in Miami. Let's freaking go.
See, I don't know enough about that guy to I haven't had any exposure to him just yet. I feel like there's just too many question marks and too many hints that maybe a guy like Dalvin could go there. I'm just not sure.
Dalvin can definitely go there, which would definitely torpedo his value a little bit. But in best ball, I think he's still got those spike weeks open. Raheem Mostert is old. We know
Sure.
Mike McDaniels is going to be doing a running back by committee approach. We also know it's going to be a lot of passing volume in the offense. And Devin Achane, that's actually a Mike McDaniels pick, the third round pick, because he runs a 4.32 40-yard dash, 99th percentile 40-yard dash score with pretty decent agility. And overall, even he's 5'9", 188. Running that fast, that puts him at an 88th percentile height adjusted speed score. He was dominant at Texas A&M and had a very good target share. He's a very good receiver. So, I can see Dalvin being a primary running back. Yeah, sure, maybe he gets a dozen targets, but Devin Achane being featured a lot in the short and intermediate passing game. And hey, If Tyreek Hill misses any time, hey, put Devin A-Chain on the outside, use him as a receiver.
Or if any of the Eagles running backs get hurt, they could bring in Dalvin as a much less expensive version of Henry. Henry's going to cost them something, potentially in a trade, whereas they can just spend a little bit of money and get cooked.
Let's go. I'm waiting late this time on tight end. I'm fading the position altogether here till super late. I think at this point, Steve, I'm going to go ahead and get my second quarterback in one, Mr. Russell Wilson, who, I mean, if we're talking hobby, this might be his best chance to bounce back. I got to see how low his Prism has gotten. If it's gotten under $100 from 2012, I might buy one, man. I'm drafting him here. The ADP at 132. Yeah, he's not going to come back. I'm going to go ahead and lock down my second quarterback.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued. I think that everyone genuinely thought Denver was going to be really good last year, and Russell Wilson looks like they doped him up before every game. I mean, I don't even understand. Like, it didn't even look recognizable. He didn't look like he belonged in the NFL. So I don't know what the whole situation is there, but we can only just hope that he's got his act together this year. He's going to need to if he wants to stick around in the league, honestly.
All right, towel down. That's the base one. That's the PSA 10. So I'm going to look at more than 9 because it's going to be comparable to the raw. Oh, yeah. Look at that, man. 56, 81.
That's nice.
Oh, this used to be $1,000 card, man. This
Yeah.
card used to be over $1,000. Even back a year ago, 52-week high, 550. You can now get that same card for $230. So he's at the floor. You know what I'm saying? For a fringe Hall of Famer, at his floor, now getting a Hall of Fame coach with added weapons. Everybody's healthy except for Javonte, but you bring in P. Ryan. You're going to be throwing the ball out anyways, and you've got an elite defense. Like, you have a legit Super Bowl contending defense. So, I don't know. The division is insane, right? They're going to probably – they should easily beat the Raiders, but, the Chargers and the Chiefs, that's obviously the main contenders there. Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Hard to get through them, but I think that the offense is going to absolutely be contending this year under Sean Payton. I just cannot see. When have you ever seen a Sean Payton offense struggle to put up points? It's like they're going to put up points. I'm interested to see what he builds this year with these guys, Russell Wilson, the Jerry Jeudy. Come on, you draft Marvin Mims in the second round. You got the field stretcher now because KJ Hamler can't ever stay on the field. Tim Patrick, possession receiver, he's healthy. Cortland Sutton's healthy as a true clasher X. I mean, like what else you need here? You don't need anything else. Dulcich has proven to be a good tight end. Already somewhat broke out in his rookie year. So you got all the bases covered here, man. I'm kind of interested to see where PFF ranks the Broncos' offensive line.
I don't know. If I had to shoot a random guess out, I'd say like 9, maybe. What do you think?
Let's see. 2023 offensive line rankings. Eagles 1, Browns 2, Chiefs 3, Ravens 4, Lions 5. Hold on, I'm on the clock. Let me make a pick here. Let's make a pick. Dulcich has slid to us. We could definitely pick a Dulcich here.
He's Everett changed it.
I got Everett. Oh, whoops. Well, I might get Everett and Dulcich.
You know, the
That
nice
might be a
thing,
little bit too much on the stack, but
the nice thing about Denver, if you decide to go, Russ, you can get Russ pretty late, and you can get pretty much everybody except Judy really late, and they have some quality wide receivers, Andy, guys we liked prior to them getting hurt last year. Sometimes even going undrafted in this format.
yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, so offensive line rating. Yeah, it said 5 was Lions, 6 is Cowboys, 7 Falcons. There's actually 7 Falcons. That's pretty solid. But that one of those is a rookie left guard interior line. Packers is at 8. They're actually down 5. Best player, yeah, Bakhtiari. 9 is the Chargers.
Okay.
That's promising at 9. 10 is the Colts. 11 is the Broncos. There you go.
Okay. Not too far.
There you go.
I mean,
they ranked.
that's where you want to be, in the top third of the league,
Yeah, they've worked quite a bit on improving the offensive line. They ranked 20th on the season in pass blocking efficiency last year. But Russell Wilson was also the second worst quarterback in the league at converting pressure into sacks, or warping the view of the Lions' performance. Their best players, Garrett Bowles, he played in just 5 games last season, but he has earned a PFF pass blocking grade above 70 in every year of his career and has been an excellent run blocker. 12 is the Steelers. That's up 4 spots from last year. 13 is the Patriots, down 2 spots. 14 is the Bucks, but I'll tell you, man, the line might be worse than that. 14, I don't know about all that.
Well, I don't know if you saw, I can't remember the dude's name, but I think it was the center who was out for most of the year last year. They said that he's already out there pushing the sled for you guys, so that's pretty promising.
It's the rookie roundup, baby. I got me some A-Chain, got me some Kendre Miller. Gonna scoop me up some Roshan Johnson if Steve doesn't snipe him from me.
I'm gonna have to get him or someone else soon, because I was going for Ford for my Cleveland stack, and somebody grabbed him.
I blew a pick on tight end. There's so much tight end value that can give me a spike week. I'll share with you one of my favorite guys here towards the end, based on the coach and the quarterback, who actually might feature as a top 2 target option on the team. So I have to wait till well, you're the only one in the draft, so I really only have to worry about you sniping me.
We're so far apart. It's probably unlikely. Someone else will do it if
leave some suspense to it, because you don't have a tight. Well, you did. You have Hawkinson earlier. Let me see what you've been doing over here, Steve. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith didn't quite get the full Eagles stack. That is messed up. This guy drafted Jalen Hurts when he had absolutely no need for him.
So close to my pick too.
I know, man. What a douche. All right, and then Hawkinson, okay, great recovery. So you pivot Amari Cooper, love it. Hawkinson, then he goes his first running back at Dobbins, Sanders. Oh man, so sexy. And then Elijah Moore. Okay, going with a Cleveland passing stack here. Digging that. And then Jamison Williams, the electricity late in the season. And then the hammer, Damian Harris. Wow, 10.4, so good. Jared Goff, 11.9 as a secondary quarterback. He's got Jamison Williams there to stack him with. Oh, you just got Roshan, so there's Roshan and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Nice. So
you missed the Watson. I don't know if you said it or not, but I managed to complete most of the Cleveland offensive attack, except for the running backs. So
And you're back on the clock now, man. So what are you going to do?
You know what? We'll get a couple more Lions in our fleet here.
No, I don't want to see QB. Does it not understand? There we go. It's like I want to see everybody but quarterbacks.
This is still the more of these you do, Andy, I feel like you start seeing some really good value at this point in the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
Stafford at 163. I feel like that's such a good pick.
Oof. Yeah, if he's healthy, it's a great pick, man. All right, we're at 164. I don't know. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Marvin Mims. Might go Tim Patrick too. Shoot. We're gonna unlock some Sean Payton, Russell Wilson stack spike weeks this year.
Don't forget about their big playmaker who has been sitting out because of injuries 2 seasons in a row. If he stays healthy, he could have some big spike weeks.
You talking about Tim Patrick?
No, Tim Patrick is more of like their Adam Thielen. I was thinking more along the lines of KJ.
Man, I'm fading that guy.
Yeah, so you're saying last pick will be Marquez Callaway?
Yeah. I can't. I'm Hamler, man.
Too scalded.
Hamler cannot stay healthy to save his freaking life, man. If you thought Paris Campbell was fragile, you wait till you meet KJ Hamler. The guy is Mr. Glass.
Let's see if there's let's see if there's any news on this guy yet here.
I saw a tweet today. It looks like Denzel Mims is going to be released. He's going to be cut from the team. He's not going to make the cut, man. Who else did I see that wasn't going to make the squad?
Let's see. So Hamler's looking like iffy to start the season. Oh, never mind. Hamler should be 100% for the start of Denver's offseason. Disregard that.
Oh, baby. I got me a Chicago running back on those distant cowboy reins on my parade here.
Yeah, when you have guys in a unknown committee share.
Yes. What a waste of a pick at 172, Taysom Hill. Good luck with that. Deonta Foreman, baby.
I like the Taysom Hill pick. Actually, I like that pick. I've got him in a bunch of these sheets. They use the guy at just about every position on the field, so you got to be. He can have some massive weeks, Andy.
That's true. I know he's a gadget position. They put him all over the place. The coaching stinks in New Orleans, and so does Derek Carr is not great. He's probably on the decline. So Taysom Hill is going to be distant Cowboys, like little secret. But see, this is the thing. You draft Travis Kelce at your tight end spot. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You put in Taysom Hill because he could have those, 50. He could have some crazy 50-point week, right? So he really is a better and best ball candidate. Now, I was just dogging the guy because he didn't pick my guy.
I thought maybe he sniped you earlier on.
He probably did. No, I haven't really been sniped yet.
Where did Paris Campbell go in the draft? He did not yet.
Let's see. Campbell, he's still out there, man. 188.
Who's got Daniel Jones? That would be
Daniel Jones. He's got to be selected. Old Daniel Jones. Yeah, he went QB 14. Let's see. ADP of 113. Drafted by Gup. Gup drafted him. I'll pull up the draft board. Where's Gup? Yeah, here's Gup. Gup got old Daniel Jones at 111 here in the 10th. Not really sure what his plan is when he's going Wandale Robinson over Paris Campbell. Not buying the smoke, man. He's not buying the rumors on Paris Campbell. Fading it. Fading the news. Going with Wandale, not Hodgins.
Interesting.
I'm sure Waller's been gone for a while, but still, he's faded Hodgins. He's faded Slayton. He's faded Campbell, especially for little old Wandale.
It's interesting. If you recall, Andy, tell me if your memory serves you correct. Nico Collins went at I don't know what pick he went, but he's already taken. It looks like 132. I think earlier in the year, or maybe it was last season, he was going in the 180s.
Gotta make a pick. I'm gonna go Paris Campbell. I'm gonna snipe him from Gup. Ain't coming back to you, Gup. I'm gonna go ahead and take him at his new ADP, 188. Sorry, Steve. I was focused on not being auto picked.
Oh, you're good, man.
My last wide receiver selection. What were you saying again?
Nico Collins ADP, I feel like has gone really up quite a bit compared to even earlier this year when these kind of rolled out.
Yeah, he has gone up for sure. I think you got to pick somebody in that room, that wide receiver room, step up. Nico Collins is going to be the first man get a big crack at it. Him and Mechie. Mechie's kind of stepping out on his rookie season, so is Nate Dell or Tank Dell, whatever they call him. And so Nico really does have to step up as the top dog, man. This is his wide receiver room to kind of lose, right now.
We got a Ty Chandler pickup.
Oh, that was a nice pickup, man. I gotta move him up my rankings. I don't care what Derek says about Chase Brown, man. I think he's a great hedge off of Joe Mixon.
Yeah, if for whatever reason Mixon gets evidently, I don't know if you heard this, Andy, but evidently they're asking Mixon to take a pay cut.
Yes, I did hear that.
The rumor is that if he does not accept, that they could cut him. So I don't know if that has anything to do directly with the off-field ramifications or not, but that has plenty of fantasy implications that there will be another running back in play, whether that's someone they currently have or somebody like Dalvin Cook or Leonard Fournette. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of hype with whoever ends up starting the season there.
Chase Brown.
Yeah, that would be huge, man. His value would skyrocket. That'd be some like Dearness Johnson overnight superstar value there.
Not opposed to. Okay, wait. Did my tight end go? Son of a beep! I got my tight end got sniped 3 picks ago at Hayden Hurst.
Oh,
that's a daggum shame, man. I have to go with old Jelani Woods here. I wanted Hayden Hurst bad, man. Gets a good contract, goes to Carolina. Frank Reich is going to make things easy for his 1.1 rookie quarterback. He's not going to throw him to the wolves. He's going to be wanting to help him get the ball out quick. It's probably going to be getting him out of the pocket because, after all, Bryce Young is a small guy. Got to be able to see downfield, right? But by the time that kind of stuff happens and that develops, I think you're going to have a lot more short and intermediate routes. Hayden Hurst, excellent route runner, man. Great hands. I think Hayden Hurst is probably going to be the number 2 target leader on that team. Followed by Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen will be the target leader. I think then it's Hayden Hurst. And then between DJ Chark and Terrace Marshall, not really sure. Depends on which one's healthier, I guess. But that's kind of my prediction there. And then you're definitely going to have a run first offense. They're just going to wear the hell out of Miles Sanders. So I think you got great value on him, and Chuba Hubbard I'd definitely be used in that satellite role.
Not that it carries over into the real world necessarily, but I don't know if you play Madden or have played Madden, but I started following a couple of YouTubers that do team rebuilds via sim. Running the organization and then simming all the matchups with the real life rosters. And in a lot of scenarios, Andy, the Carolina Panthers go to the Super Bowl in a lot of them against the Chiefs. It's pretty funny.
That is funny, man. The Chiefs.
I think I'm pretty happy with my squad. I had to pivot pretty hard. Had to pivot pretty hard after the Jalen Hurts pick, but I think I recovered pretty well.
Yeah, I've got 2-5-8-2 set there. I could use another running back or tight end. That's really what I'm looking at now. Yeah, I know they bring in Gesicki, and he goes a decent amount earlier, but the veteran touchdown guy there is Hunter Henry. Mac Jones loves him in the red zone. He's in the prime of his career for terms of tight end. He's going to be on the field more too because he can actually block, whereas Gesicki can't block for crap, man. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just let it roll on. I mean, maybe I could have. Yeah, I probably should have had another running back there, but let it ride. Two of my running backs are rookies, man. And Samaje Perine, thick. So is Kenneth Walker. So is Deonta Foreman. Deonta Foreman weighs like almost 240 pounds. I mean, just an absolute tank, man. So
I've actually seen, I'm sure you've seen him too. There's a couple plays last year and the year before where he snaps off some long runs. So for his body size, he's got pretty good speed, man.
Yeah.
Renfro with a 215 pick. You got to like that.
Renfro and Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the final pick, man. All right. I am calling it tonight. We're at the 2-hour mark. I've had a very long day. I know Steve has too. Hey, but I know you guys are probably doing another draft in the Discord. So you guys, that thing's open to all patrons. You guys can stream in there if you guys want to get on together. I've streamed in there like that one the other day. So you guys have at it, but I am going to retire and head off to bed. I got to, man. I got a lot of stuff to do.
Understood,
tomorrow.
man. Yeah, I got a long day myself, but I am going to probably stick around for one more at least if anyone else wants to queue up. So, Andy, always a pleasure. Maybe next week we can try to squeeze a second one in. Maybe start it a hair earlier.
Yeah, I started a hair earlier. But it's all good, man. I have a lot of fun doing these, and it's such a fun stream, such a fun draft. Can't wait to do it again next time. So you guys go do one more in the Discord. I wish you good luck. I had a great time, Steve, and I'll see you in that next one. Peace.
Good night, everyone.